How do you think your team performed down the stretch, especially in overtime?
Well, I really think from the opening tip throughout the game, it was certainly a great college basketball game. Somebody had to win and somebody had to lose. I know how Utah feels, probably as if they had a lost opportunity. One of the keys to us winning was Cedric Bearfield fouling out. I thought we did a really good job of kind of attacking him when he had 3 and 4 fouls. And it's one thing to try to do it, it's another thing to accomplish it. But fouling him out really changed the game down the stretch. And then in overtime, playing without him is a different task versus playing with him. He's a tremendous player. Knew it last year. He had 49 points in 2 games against us a year ago. I watched Nevada play against them. Nevada is one of the best defensive teams, one of the best teams I've seen. He had 33 on them. He went to Arizona State, went 25 on those guys. And, tonight, if he didn't foul out, he would have crossed the 30 threshold again. It wasn't lack of effort, lack of discipline or anything on our end. He's just a tremendous Pac-12 guard. It seems like every year we have one of those guys that emerges, and I think he's going to have a great career beyond Utah. But Utah, I sensed it, they're on the rise. They're playing faster. They have a lot of answers on offense. And if you just look at our schedule, they are one of the best offensive teams that we faced. We knew that before the game, and I'm thrilled we were able to score, because if we weren't able to score today, we wouldn't have been able to beat them, because they're very difficult to defend. Larry Kostoviak, after timeouts, getting his best player shots, takes amazing concentration. And we had a stretch in the second half where we blew about 4 or 5 assignments. And every time that we missed our assignment, it resulted in a basket or 3. And that's the sign of a great offensive team. But our effort was outstanding. Different players really stepped up. And certainly one of the best victories we've had here at McKale during my time, just because of how hard the game is and how easily it could have gone towards Utah. But I think Utah, they're going to be a load in the month of January and February. It's a shame college basketball puts so much weight on the month of November, because sometimes teams like them, they go to a completely different category as the season progresses. And, I think they're a far cry from where they would have been at the onset. And I'm very, very excited that we were able to beat both Colorado and Utah here in our first weekend.
You needed some offense in overtime, and you got it from Brandon Randolph. But were you surprised that he, from those 2 drives in particular?
Well, Brandon's our leading scorer. He didn't have a very good night from the 3-point line. I think he was 1 for 9. And again, that's a good sign for us, that we could score 84 points, and he was 1 for 9 from the 3-point line. I think Justin Coleman was 1 for 8 or 1 for 7 from the field. So you think about that offensively, and for us to still score 84 points and have the opportunity to win, that's good, because we weren't at our best for the entire game. This wasn't the best that we can play. But Chase Jeter was terrific, 21 points, 13 rebounds, played 39 minutes, which is hard to do. Dylan Smith really has emerged as our defensive stopper, and he went 3 for 3 from 3. And a lot of different players made plays. Ryan Luther has struggled with his confidence, but his 3-pointers came in the second half at a great time as well. So like we've talked about from the beginning, we're going to win as a team and lose as a team. I don't think we're ever going to be a product of a great individual performance. And that's the challenge, that we can continue to grow and improve and stay cohesive. And if that's the case, we'll have many, many good moments here over the next couple months.
Can you talk about the importance of holding serve at home that you can't lose at home?
It's important. It's something we've done well. We did it well this weekend. I think when I first came to Arizona, everybody talked to me a lot about the Pac-10 back then, and it was, you want to win both at home and split on the road, and if you do that, you'll be in contention for whether it be a conference championship or, a great season. So I know how hard it is to win on the road, and I think this year it's going to be hard to win at home too. So we have to just kind of take every day and be the best that we can be as ready as we can be, and continue to grow. You know, Justin Coleman, when you dislocate your shoulder, it's really a unique injury in that you can't function. You know, you can't even walk, and it scares you. Your shoulder's out, and the pain is excruciating. And just to kind of watch him handle that on Monday, his practice when it happened, and kind of get through these 4 or 5 days, it's not easy. And I really credit him for playing against Colorado in the brief time that he did, and then going like he did today. He's not at further risk, but you can't judge him on his performance because he's the furthest thing from being at his best. He hasn't practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, played a little bit on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Here we are. So I hope that, you know, now that this is over, he can really regain his health 100%, which seems like he's close, and his confidence, and get back into a rhythm, because he made some great plays tonight. But even on that last play of regulation, I didn't think he was himself. You know, he had 5 dribbles, 5.3 seconds. You have 5 dribbles. And he slowed up a little bit, and I would slow up too if I were him. You know, in hindsight, I probably needed to give the ball to somebody else based on the week that he had gone through. So really credit him. You know, it's one thing to be named captain and have great performances, but sometimes you have to really give a lot of credit to one of your players that gave you everything. And he really gave us everything this weekend when he didn't have to. The safe move would be, Coach, I can't play this weekend. And he helped us. And without him, I don't know if we would have won both games. Maybe we wouldn't have won either. I don't know. So I think he deserves a lot of credit.
How are you evaluating, Sean, your interior defense right now? There's times when you guys are giving up a lot of baskets, but then there's times when you're shutting guys down. Is it kind of a 50-50 thing right now with that?
You know, our defense is much better than it was a year ago overall. And I think that, Chase, you got to remember, drawing a charge is really impressive. And nobody does that better as a front court player than Chase. Ira's very quick. You know, Ryan and E-Man is more of a wing player that plays inside. But you're right. We had a number of different missed assignments early in the game where it almost like, well, what's wrong, right? But also I want to tell you, Cedric Bearfield is really hard to deal with. And most of the time our breakdown occurred when he was scoring. I mean, he's shooting off the dribble shots at 20 feet, 22 feet, going left and right, and he's shooting a high percentage. He gets below the foul line. He could score on a big guy, and very few guards can do both of those things. So let's give credit to him, but it's something that I think we can continue to grow and be better at. Because no doubt we missed a few of those assignments. In terms of guarding the other team's big guys, I thought we did an outstanding job because we gave them no help. Because of Utah's three-point shooting, we played their post guys one-on-one, and they're 2 monster big guys. So for the most part, I thought we did a good job.
That last play with Justin, you mentioned in hindsight maybe considering what he's going through, maybe go somewhere else. The guys up here said they trust him, they want him to take that shot, but was it tempting to kind of overrule that in that situation? I know you don't have much time. It was, what, 5.8 seconds or something?
No, we went with the guy that's made those shots before, which he has, and our point guard, and, you know, certainly our captain and a senior. You know, and again, that's not an easy task to go coast to coast and win the game. It wasn't like he missed a wide open layup. But I think how he felt, I'm sure, if he would have practiced this week and been healthy, I'm sure I would have put him in a better position.
Shot, was that his shoulder too, you think, kind of made that floater?
Maybe. It was his left shoulder, for sure.
How healthy would you say he is? 60, 70% or something?
No, I think he's about 80%, maybe. But there's 2 parts to an injury. Part 1 is physically, like if you're walking outside right now, how healthy you are or how you can function. Part 2 is confidence, repetition, being out of rhythm. And when you haven't done anything from Monday, through today, that's hard as well. So I think he's anxious, and we all are, to get him back in the fold and in a rhythm. And hopefully when we show up at Stanford that he's the best version of himself. He made some good plays tonight. His keeping the dribble underneath the basket and finding Chase late in the game was a great pass. and he made a number of other plays as well.
I'm curious if you were in line with their last shot, the last three-pointer, where it kind of hit the front, went to the back, and then missed. What were your thoughts on that last shot from them?
Well, I mean, they were 11 for 21, and we tried hard. I thought they made a couple really challenged, tough shots. They're very, very good at creating open three-point shots. And like all teams like them, they don't just shoot the ball at one position. There are 4 players on the court at all times that can really shoot the three-point shot. So it puts pressure on everybody. Concentration, very, very difficult. But Bearfield, 5 for 9, set the tone for their night. I don't know if we could have done a better job defending them from the three-point line than we did. Sometimes you have to tip your hat to the opponent, and I would have said the same thing if we would have lost. He had an amazing performance, 26 points, and he was well on his way to 30.
What would you say about the difficulty of going 14-0 against Utah and Colorado here?
Very difficult. So many games pop into my mind, even when Utah first came into our conference, that we would have been a heavy favorite, and it seems like the game always comes down to the final 4 minutes. Larry Kostoviak is an excellent coach. Offensively, I mean, when you get ready for them, you got your hands full. And in the Pac-12, if they're the second game, it's not as if we have a lot of time. So because of that, you really have to be detailed. And like I mentioned here at the beginning, we had a 4 to 6 minute window in the second half where we missed assignments, and it resulted in about 8 straight points. And that's when we were scoring. If we could have done a better job during that period of time, I think we would have had a cushion. We'd have had a 10-point lead and maybe been able to win the game in regulation. But they make you pay, and Larry really makes you pay. He's an excellent coach.